Hello and welcome. I've had a 30-minute practice here. Some nice gentle and slow movement, and we'll be accessing a little area of the body called the adductors. It's like the inner leg, and I immediately think of side splits when I come to that kind of idea. So yeah, let's work on this very tender little area, I think. Obviously we'll get into other areas of the body, but we'll bring a little bit of emphasis and focus there. So let's get started, shall we? We'll be starting down the back. Let's go from there. Making your way down to the back, laying flat, and you can pretty immediately get into a position that's going to bring some emphasis to that area. Bring the feet to touch and let the knees out to the side and letting the hips open. Placing the hands wherever is comfortable for you. And the body settle into stillness here. Relaxing the back of the neck, the jaw, the eyes. Down into the shoulders, the ribs and the belly. Releasing any tension that's being unnecessarily held at the inner leg. Just allowing for a nice feeling of consolidation in the body, and this begins with a sense of awareness. So drawing your attention inwardly towards the body with a sensitive attitude in your mind. That's to say that you're curious, caring. These qualities of listening to the body, being receptive to how you feel. And that includes the level and state of your energy and the level and state of your mind. These are just observations and ways to acknowledge what's happening in the body without critical judgment, without pressure or obligation. We don't push these things away in any sense, but rather direct your attention towards actions that provide a sense of well-being. And the primary action that we take here in the practice is breathing consciously. So as you center your attention at your belly, begin to breathe a little bit more deeply. Expand your breath down towards the lower belly space. Slow down your exhalation as it exits your body. And start to coordinate your breathing into a much slower pace. But this coordination happens as a result of the body and your mind working together in coherence towards a common task or common goal. And here, that commonality is your deepened and slowed breath. Just as a reference point, extend your breath out to about 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. Just do a few rounds like that. After your next round of breath, drop the count and maintain the pace. So now it's a much more embodied feeling of the slow breath. Let's keep that breath moving as we coordinate it with movement. So start to draw the knees in towards your chest. Have a bit of a squeeze. Going towards happy baby. So grabbing the outer blades of the feet. It's probably feeling a little tight, sticky, tender. There's no real sudden or severe movements, but a little bit of a rock side to side is good. Just take a couple more breaths there. And set the feet down on the ground for just a few rounds of rolling bridge. So as the feet come to hip width apart, tilt the tailbone up and lift the hips towards the ceiling. And then lower back down and carry on for just a few more rounds. As you inhale, lift up the hips. And as you exhale, you come on back down. Just take maybe 2, maybe 3 more of those. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. And let the movement build rather. Squeezing your glutes to power the movement up and down. Just take one more round there. Lift and lower. And as the hips come down, find an eagle wrap on your legs. The right leg wraps over the left one. And drop the legs over to the left into a twist. You might scooch the hips a bit more to the right. Let's see if you can open out your right shoulder quite broadly. Just take 2 more breaths. Back through the center, onto the other side. So the left leg now wraps over the right one. Drop it over to the other side. Relaxing the belly, relaxing the gripping tension wherever you can find it. And then coming back up through the center, hug the knees to your chest and rock yourself up to a seated position. Once you arrive in that seat, we'll come into cat-cow. So onto all fours, hands and knees. Move straight into it, taking an inhale to press the belly down. And then exhale to raise and arch up through the spine. And we keep on going. Tilting the tailbone up as you press the belly down. Then arching through the spine as you tuck the tailbone under a little more. We keep on going, involving the shoulders a bit more now, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you dip the belly, and then spreading them apart to arch through the upper back. Maybe 2 more rounds. And then gently making your way towards downward facing dog. Tucking the toes and lifting up the hips, making some movement there, pedaling the legs or swaying the hips a little. So through the sensations of the posture, you start to become informed and knowledgeable on how the body's feeling. Another breath or 2 here. And then starting to walk your hands back towards your feet into a forward fold at the back of the mat. Relaxing through the shoulders and the neck. A little bit of swaying here might be nice, side to side, a few times. Another breath or 2. And then bend deeper into the knees as you ripple and roll up the spine through to standing, reaching up and stretching up. Now at the top, catch opposite elbows above the head, squeeze your glutes, your butt cheeks, and lean over to your right. 1 breath. Okay, back through center. Switch it to the other side. Back through center, and now catch the hands behind your lower back. Rolling back the shoulders, big bend in the knees as you fold. Good, hands coming up over the head. 2 or 3 breaths there, relaxing the neck. And release. Hands come to the floor, walk them out to plank position. Shoulders above your wrists, find that distance, and then lift the hips back up into down dog. And just do 2 more of those. High plank moves you forward. Back to down dog. And just do 1 more. High plank forward. Down dog to go back. Now this time come into high plank, either with the knees or not. Lower down through chaturanga until you're flat. Taking the hands off the side of the mat and rolling through cobra. So as you lift the chest, inhale. As you lower, exhale. 2 or 3 more rounds on your own. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Carry on. Finding a nice gentle movement and cycle. Just do one more. Lift and lower. As the chest comes down, come back through tabletop, all fours, and into down dog. And then as you reach down dog, walk towards the top of your mat, feet coming up towards your hands, big bend into the knees, rolling up the spine through the standing, reaching up, stretching up, and then into just a little squat. Bend the knees and sink the butt. Keep the knees at about hip width apart and hands to prayer. Good, another big breath here. Give me a little challenge as you stand up, lift the heels up off the ground, lift the heels. Awesome, squeeze the butt. And then with the heels lifted, try and interlace hands behind the lower back again. Roll back the shoulders, so a little bit messy on the balance, right? Take one more big breath here. And then drop the heels to fold forward again. Hands coming up over the head. Relax the neck as soon as you're there. Just one breath at the bottom here. And then release, hands to the floor. Take a halfway lift. Step your left foot back and set the knee down on the ground. Arms up into low lunge. In this shape, the right hand physically grabs the left wrist. And as you lift the chest and arm higher, lean over to your right into a side bend. Try and squeeze your left butt cheek fairly firmly here and take 2 more breaths. And as you release your left arm, take it into a twist, hooking the left elbow around the knee, hands coming together. 2 options, either keep the back knee down or pick it up, one or the other. 2 more breaths here. And then releasing hands to the ground, puff the chest out on fingertips, and then gently lift the hips as you straighten through the front leg. And do that just 2 more times. Bend the front knee, come forward into the lunge, and then fold, straightening through the front leg. We'll just do 1 more from there. Lunge, come forward. Exhale to the fold. This time, take a lunge, and now turn to the left-hand side of your mat, to the left. Turn the front foot in. Now as we're here, take a halfway lift, and just start to bend into each knee, moving from side to side, from left to right a couple of times. Keep going with the breath. Keep stabilizing your breathing into a nice rhythmic pace. And just take 1 or 2 more movements from left to right here. And now you might lose me on camera, but that's all right. Listen to my voice. Take a halfway lift. Now walk the hands to the back of the mat, to the back of the mat. You're facing the back. Drop down the right knee now, your back knee. Arms raising up, so you're probably facing away from me now, but we're doing the other side. So the left hand takes the right wrist, and leaning over to your left now. So squeezing the right butt cheek. Chest lifts me a little. Belly pulls in, so the core stabilizes towards the spine. And I'm feeling this kind of lift from my right hip all the way through my right rib cage into the shoulder, the arm, the hand. 1 more breath. And twist over to your left, hooking the elbow. I might leave my knee down on this one, but feel free to pick yours up if you want to. And again, you're welcome to just listen to the body, adapt side to side. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, but the context is the same. And we keep the breath moving. 2 to go here. Release. Hands to the floor. Pick up the back knee if it's not already. Puff the chest on fingertips. And then gently straighten and fold over the front leg. We'll do 2 more of those. Lunge, come forward. Exhale to the fold. Last one, lunge, forward. Exhale to the fold. This time lunge and pause. turn to the right, so we're facing the side of the mat again. Now this time, take a halfway lift and go a little bit lower. So as you shift body weight over to the right or the left, sink all the way down to the heel and turn the opposite foot up into skandasana if you can. And then shifting from left to right, side to side. You can use the hands on the ground. You don't have to push it hard, but just moving gently and sinking in. A couple more little movements from left to right. Nice and gentle. Feeling it out. Last one, last breath here. And now turn back to the original top of the mat and very simply step up. Feet together, roll up the spine through to standing, reaching up, stretching up, little back bend, and then folding straight back down towards the ground. Step back to plank and lower all the way down until you're flat onto the floor. Similar to before, hands off the side, lift the chest into cobra, and then lower back down for just a few more rounds there. Keep waving the spine. Maybe the chest lifts a little bit high now with some heat through the hips, the lower back. One or two more. Keep on going. Nice little rhythm going here. Good. Last one. And as you lower down, come back through to tabletop and pause there. Now, we're going to get straight into frog here. So turn to the side of the mat and take the knees out wide. Feet turn out to the sides. I know it's pretty strong for a lot of us, so please be gentle with it in the way that you go. Walk the hands out a little, and you might stay on palms. You might come down to elbows. My suggestion, I'm going to show you from the side here. My suggestion is that the ankles are in line with your knees. Ankles in line with knees, and then hips in line with knees. So you've got a couple of 90-degree angles. And then from there, you're thinking about the elbows or beyond. But more than anything in this shape is really trying to offer a sense of self-soothing to the body. Relaxing through the jaw, the eyes and the shoulders. Allowing for the belly to not be holding any tension, but to be moving gently and freely with the breath. Tuck in here for maybe just 5 more breaths, not too long. Slow, easy breathing. And then take just one more nice, easy breath before you then either push back or go forward to come out of this. Really no wrong answer. Just as a matter of interest, we'll be landing in a seated position in a moment. So if you want to make your way there, please make your way there. And just before we carry on, bring the hands just behind the lower back. Either reverse tabletop with bent knees or reverse plank with straight legs. Either way, hands just behind the hips, roll back the shoulders, puff up the chest, and then point the toes if it's straight legs, but lift the hips either way. Suck your belly in, squeeze through your glutes, your butt cheeks, squeeze and suck the belly in. Another big breath here. And release. Hips coming down nice and gently. And then take the legs out quite wide. Lifting up the chest. You can get a little ballet for a second here. So walk the sitting bones back. Lift up the chest. And then fold over your left leg. Turn the chest to the left. We're only going to be here in this little variation for about 3 or 4 breaths. So it's super short hold. Just getting a bit of a feel for this side of the body. Really just one more breath here. Lifting the chest up and then going to the other leg. Turning to the right, dropping the chest in. A few breaths to feel out the hamstring a little bit more. Two more breaths here. Lifting up, and now a straight forward fold. So keep the feet lifted, the ankles somewhat engaged. Lift the belly, and then walk the hands out in front of you and bring the chest down somewhat. So maybe we use the hands as a bit more of a kickstand. Maybe come down to elbows or beyond that, walking the chest out a little further. But yeah, the feet stay elevated, the ankles stay stiff, and then the shoulders can soften out a little bit here. Bring some nice easy breathing into play. Let the pacing on the breath create the mood and experience of the posture. So it's the breath that's really influencing your experience the most here. Three or four more. Chest lifts up. Put a bend into your knees and kind of like a seated happy baby, grab the outer blades of your feet, lift them off the floor, and then start to lift the heels. Kick one leg and two. Maybe it's straight legs, it doesn't have to be, but keep lifting the chest up, pull the belly in, and if you're really quite comfortable, shut down the eyes. It's all about the belly here, so feel the center of gravity. Chest lifting, just one more time. One more breath. And then right in front of you, bring the feet to touch. Bring the feet to touch. Interlace your fingers on the end. Big lift of the chest. And as you place the heels down, bow over the legs into Baddha Konasana. Now once you get down there, you might walk the sitting bones back a little bit. Walk your butt back a little bit. But then relax through the shoulders and let yourself sink into this shape. Once you've got your structure, once you've got your position where you can find relative stillness, it's all about your sense of presence and your experience of the posture from there on out. It's stuff that really no one else is going to know is happening in the posture. And it's not the way that it looks, but rather we turn our attention towards the way that it feels. Utilizing the breath as a means to soothe the nervous system and very much therefore the mind. And so as the breath carries you deeper into this shape, you embrace the embodied feeling of breathing deeply and gently within this mildly uncomfortable position of the body. We'll take just 5 more breaths here. Chest lifts up. And then I really like this next position, figure 4 in a seated position. So if you bend your knees, in fact, you know what, I might just drop the knees a couple of times from side to side. Lower back gets a little sticky there, doesn't it? A couple of forward folds. Alright, so let's give this a go. So in this position, place your right ankle on top of your left knee, and then close this kind of gap between the foot and the butt, and the hands in the butt. So walk your hands in so the lower back is lifting and the butt slides closer to the heel to lift the chest up higher, propping yourself up. I sort of turn my hands back a little bit to keep throwing the chest forward, but you'll feel the tighter your chest gets towards your thigh, the more intense it gets. Not long here, to be honest. Just 3 or 4 more breaths. We keep the chest closing towards the shin. Another breath or 2. And now, as you release the right ankle, kick it out in front of you and let the left foot come inside that thigh. Right hand comes down, left hand up. On our way towards a side bend, in my plank. Right hand down, left hand up. Reaching over. Lean back on the top shoulder for just 2, maybe 3 more breaths. Big inflating inhalations towards the ribs. Another big breath here. Lift up the chest in preparation for stargazer. Place the left hand on the floor. Rock up onto the shin, lifting the butt. Squeeze the glutes, just one big breath. And release. And we'll jump into the other side of that figure four. So the right foot on the ground, left ankle on the right knee. That's it. And then walk the hands in, walk the butt in, closer to the heel. And it's all about the lower back lifting. So you feel as the spine gets taller, it intensifies. We take the breath rate down a little bit, so the breath slows. Nice, smooth, even rhythm of breath. Just 3 or 4 more here. And release. As you kick the left leg out, you drop the right knee to the side, and that will take you pretty much into the position. Left hand inside the leg, right hand up, lean back, and then reach for the foot. Taking gentle, slow, easy breaths. Two to 3 more. And lifting up, stargazer. Right hand just behind the hip. Rock up onto the shin. Big lift of the hips. Big breath in. And release. Coming down. Grab a hold of the knees and roll down onto your back. Onto your back, and as you arrive on your back, take the right knee towards the chest, and then catch half happy baby. So grab the outer blade of your foot if you can. You can put the left foot on the ground if you want. It's a little bit more intense to kick the leg out. But now with this right leg that you've got a hold of, start to straighten the leg. So kicking it a bit more out to the right, and maybe you take the leg down and over to the right hand side of your mat. A bit more open to the side. Just take a couple more deep breaths there. And as you come back through center, eagle wrap your right leg over the left one and scooch the hips a bit more to the side as you drop the knees to the left. A couple of easy breaths here. Back through to center and doing the same thing to the other side. So half happy baby. Catch a hold of the foot. Have a little pedal and a kick if you want, but then taking it out to the side a little bit more. Just a breath or 2 more there. And then heading into the twist on the other side. Taking the leg across. A few easy breaths at the bottom. Coming back through to center. Hug the knees in towards your chest and then preparing yourself for Shavasana, but I've been really enjoying legs up the wall pose in Shavasana. So you're welcome to lay flat, no worries about that, but maybe, just maybe, if you're near a wall and you want to do it, take your legs up the wall. We can work in the same kind of theme we've been working on, taking the legs out wide and just legs up the wall pose, and you definitely feel it on the inner leg. It's really nice alignment here for your lower back as well. So a very pure opening of the inner leg. If this is uncomfortable and you still want to take legs up the wall, you're welcome to lift them straight up as another alternative. Allow for the body to find stillness and a level of comfort here. Try and prioritize your sense of rest. Obligations and responsibilities are very minimized here, and you have a few minutes completely to yourself. So try not to let this space be invaded by anything other than your sense of well-being. I'll leave you here, right in this beautiful resting position. Very much appreciate your support. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Much love to you, and namaste. I'll see you next time.